best to
save it.
That bus running up.
Jesus. Oh my goodness. Jeez, what? Damn it, the bus is leaving. What? I thought the bus was leaving. Finally found one. Oh.
Where's Graham?
Things inside the cabin. There's trees and things whizzing past us.
Whizzing.
Yeah, 20 kilometres an hour maximum speed. So it's not really whizzing.
Whizzing is
stretching. No worries, enjoy your tour.
Thank you.
And your lunch, it's a great place for lunch sitting up here.
Thank you.
No worries.
On the coast. Just one moment, folks. Excuse me. Can you always keep on the left-hand side of the road, please? Thank you. And what happened was the skipper kept coming. He thought that he had plenty of water in front of him. His helmet just on the other side of it. That would be the best viewing position for watching whales during September, October, November. So if you come back during those months, I'm going to try and get that spot, sit there for a couple of hours, you'll see literally dozens of whales going past. And on the left here, this is called Catherine Bay. It's one of our favourite bays to come to as well. When my beautiful wife turned 60 on the 11th of April, we came over to Rottnest. That was a Thursday. We had my daughter, her husband, and my two beautiful little granddaughters on board. We had 2 nights there. And Catherine Bay is always very good for catching crays. Well, we set the pots the first night. Guess what? The next morning we had none. Using our service today. You've been a beautiful crowd, very responsive, and I do appreciate that. Thank you very much, folks, and I do wish you well for the rest of the afternoon. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. At this time of the day, also they accumulate underneath these big Moreton Bay figs. You might see a few drunk quackers around the place, folks, if they stay here too long. Folks, if you do want something to eat, if you go straight ahead and turn left, that will take you into the main settlement area. We're just going to go very softly here. If people can keep an eye out on the left, that would be appreciated. This lady, can you encourage that one to move? Can you encourage that one to move? Thank you. Righto. Oh, very good job, young lady.
Oh,
Right.
no,
See,
no.
that's what they do. Let me know if it goes anywhere near the wood. Very, very strategic during the Second World War. It's where the women of the Royal Australian Navy were accommodated. Would you believe? There were 500
Thank you very much. Well done.
We'll see you this afternoon.
Strickland Bay on the right. Everyone doing okay? Yeah, good.
Nap time.
Sorry?
Nap time.
I didn't hear that.
Nap time.
Oh, nap time. No naps on this bus. Folks, because of this beautiful island, it probably accounts for the fact that Western Australia has over 100,000 registered boat owners. In fact, more per head of population than any other state in Australia. So if somebody's buying a boat, they want to learn. Oh, there's a huge snake on the road, folks. It's just a snake in front of you. It's a snake. It's a snake.
Oh no! No!
Listening. Sorry about that, folks. I did my best to
save
avoid
it.
that bus running over the snake.
Bus entering narrow neck.
It's very unfortunate. That's not very good. So unfortunately, sometimes that does happen, but we do try and absolutely minimise any loss of animal life on the island, including the quokkas. They can be very skittish when it comes to big vehicles and crossing the road, so we just have to really be very, very careful. Anyway, folks, back to the boat ownership. Over 100,000 boat owners. If somebody buys a boat, they want to know how to get to Rottnest. The Department of Transport do a great job. About 3 times a year there are convoys out of Fremantle and also Hillary's Boat Harbour where you can actually follow the lead boat. They do promote it on social media. There's normally about 10 or 15 boats that follow the lead boat. So the lead boat will bring them over and then show them how to get into 3 or 4 of the more popular bays. Each of those vessels should have a plotter, which means that they can record the path over. So the next time they come, they can bring that up on their plotter and they'll know how to get here. The only other thing that they need to consider, very importantly, is the weather, because the stretch of water between Rottnest and the coast can become savage, I can tell you. And if you do underestimate the water, the ocean, then you do so at your own peril. If you don't respect it, the ocean will have a way of building respect into you. I can guarantee that one. Now also, folks, there are 980 moorings on the island. These are all owned and controlled by the Rottnest Island Authority. If you want to go into a particular bay and you want a mooring there, you can go onto a waiting list. That waiting list will be anywhere from 2 years up to close to 20 years, depending on the bay. Now with our boat, we opted not to do that, but to be a part of what's called the shared mooring system. And we just pay a fee in line with the length of our boat. We put a 12 metre fiberglass, and we pay just under $1,200 a year, and then we can go and pick up any unused mooring that is designed for a 12 metre plus vessel. If the person that holds the license on the mooring turns up, we just go and pick up another mooring. So it's a great system because it does put money into the whole system, which means that then those moorings can be maintained. And the Rottnest Island Authority appointed a private contractor many years ago to do just that. So that's all they do, 12 months of the year, go from one mooring to the next, making sure that all those moorings are safe. Folks, we're going to stop here for a quick quokka search. Hopefully there will be some that will oblige, and you can get that nice quokka selfie.
Thank you.
Okay.
As much as I like to search for quackers, I don't want to encounter snakes. Jeez, these quackers are hard to find. Well, like I said, as much as I would love to search for you quackers, I don't want to encounter any notorious animal that I do not have time to encounter. Example, snake, poisonous snake. Not interested. Okay, how far do you go to find goddamn quack? Not even one quack. Well, the landscape is not too bad. The terrain. I wonder where all these hills lead to. Think waste of time, to be honest. Okay, I have tried for you guys. No quackers. Oh, I need to retrace back my steps. Oh, how did I come out? Doo-doo-doo-dum. Unfortunately, no quackers. Sorry guys, better off next time. Okay, I have gone to the deepest depths of the forest. No quackers. Better luck next time. All right, folks, it is unfortunate. How did I get here? Possibly this way. Because I don't want to find something else that I am not supposed to find just because I'm looking for a bloody ass quack. Doo-doo-doo-dum. Doo-doo-doo-dum. Yeah, let me quickly get back to... Jeez. Oh, my goodness. Jeez, what? Damn it, the bus is leaving. What? I thought the bus was leaving. Finally found one. Oh.
Where's Graham?
Quacker, quacker.
Jump on.
Thank you.
We got everybody now?
Yep. Sorry.
Okay. Do you think we've got everybody? Can anybody notice anyone missing or running behind the bus? I think we can go.
Yeah, I was running behind the bus.
Well, you've had your exercise now.
Yeah. Geez, only one quokka in the whole island.
They're all asleep, all those fuckers. If you just look out to the left here, folks, we've got the beautiful Stark Bay. It's named after James Stark, one of our long-term administrators. And just after these trees, if you look out to the left, you'll get an even better view of Stark Bay. Very popular with birdies and also with families swimming on that beach. most beautiful beaches on the island is Ricey Beach. It's just forward to the left there a little bit. It's called Ricey Beach because we get these miniature cowrie shells washing up on the shore, resembling grains of rice, hence the name Ricey. That is fully protected by reef, very, very safe for swimming. Also a great spot for whale watching during September, October, November. Folks, if you look out to the right, you'll see the lighthouse. That's the one that we went up to. The very tragic tale involving that lighthouse happened on the 12th of July 1899. There was a boat called the City of York. It was on its 90th day out of San Francisco. It was fully laden with timber and timber and bound for the Swan River settlement. Unfortunately, there was a misunderstanding between the skipper of the boat and the lighthouse keeper. The skipper of the boat thought that there was a lot more water in front of him because lighthouses are normally positioned on the coast. Just one moment, folks. Excuse me. Can you always keep on the left-hand side of the road, please? Thank you. And what happened was the skipper kept coming. He thought that he had plenty of water in front of him. Unfortunately, he ran aground. Did a magnificent job in getting his 26 crew safely to shore, but then made the fatal decision to select 10 men. He went as well to go out in a little small craft to try and salvage some of the timber doors and the timber. That little lifeboat got hit by a couple of big waves and those 11 men were lost. And it must have been a really awful night, weather-wise, because another boat just south of Fremantle, called the Castle Craig, was lost with 26 souls on board. As a result, at the Fremantle Cemetery, there are a couple of plaques commemorating the City of York loss of life and also the Castle Craig loss of life. And that brought on the second lighthouse at Bathurst Point in the Thomson Bay area, so that ships on this side of the island could get a much, much better understanding of exactly where they were. So just around this corner, and around about 700 metres out to the left, is where the City of York lay. Now where that limestone rock is directly ahead of us, folks, you can just see someone's helmet just on the other side of it. That would be the best viewing position for watching whales during September, October, November. So if you come back during those months, want to try and get that spot, sit there for a couple of hours, you'll see literally dozens of whales going past. So on the left here, this is called Catherine Bay. It's one of our favourite bays to come to as well. When my beautiful wife turned 60 on the 11th of April, we came over to Rottnest. That was a Thursday. We had my daughter, her husband, and my two beautiful little granddaughters on board. We had 2 nights there. And Catherine Bay is always very good for catching crays. Well, we set the pots the first night. Guess what? The next morning we had none. And I had my other 3 boys coming across on the Saturday with their wives and girlfriends and partners on the Saturday for a special birthday lunch for Rennie. And so we set the pots again that night, Friday night, and on the Saturday morning we had 11 beautiful big crayfish in the pots. So there was enough to give everybody a feed. What a great day we had that though. It was just wonderful. We were supposed to come over this week actually, but the weather hasn't been great, so we just have to wait wait until the weather improves a little bit. We do actually prefer the winter months because some days you do get beautiful clear skies, no wind, and it's the best boating season. And very few boats over here. We still swim and walk every day. It's just a paradise. Take a left turn here, and we are going to head out and have a look at Little Armstrong Bay, which is also one of our marine sanctuaries. Now, folks, who's old enough to remember 1987? America's Cup defence of Fremantle. Anybody? Okay. Western Australia back in the 80s was known as the Wild West. I don't know whether any of you remember that, but there were a couple of businessmen that could not get a mooring at Rottnest. And they enlisted a couple of Special Air Services underwater explosives experts to blow a hole in the reef at Catherine Bay so they could bring their boats in, would you believe? I'm going to show you exactly where that explosion occurred. So folks, on the right you can see one of those big triangles, and we know what that's for. A little bit of flotsam and jetsam on the left hand side here by the look of it. So we've got the triangle on the right, and if you look down on the land there you'll see that other triangle, and around about now it's quite difficult to see where the sun is positioned. There are two sticks out beyond that reef which signal where the explosion occurred. Can anybody see them? Yeah. So that's where you come in to get into Catherine Bay. Now those two businessmen, one of them was Laurie Connell. Anyone care to guess who the other one was? Alan Bond, correct? So the explosion was heard on the mainland, folks, 19 kilometres away. It was massive. But there was nothing that was reported in the newspaper, nothing on the TV, nothing on the radio, no one spoke about it, no charges. Yeah, it was the Wild West, don't worry about that. So out to the left there you've got Little Armstrong Bay, very beautiful for snorkeling and swimming. Normally there are no waves breaking over that reef. I can promise you, very similar to Parker Point, if you were to dive underneath that reef, you would literally see lobster, crayfish, whatever you want to call them, literally crawling over the top of each other. It is incredible. But again, because it is a marine sanctuary, not allowed to keep them, not allowed to catch them. Little Armstrong Bay. Look at that magnificent little rocky alcove, folks. Isn't that just beautiful? Folks, it's called Defence Road. About a kilometre down is where we have what's called Pink Lake. Very famous, especially with international visitors. And the reason it turns pink is because in February, March, when a lot of the lake has evaporated, the algae is at its most active, and that lake turns bright pink, quite spectacular. Now, coming up on the right, folks, this is one of our 12 salt lakes. Depending on the time of the year, they will be between 4 to 7 times saltier than the ocean, so they're way too salty for fish. However, there is a little creature that absolutely thrives in there. It's called a brine shrimp. That brine shrimp forms the primary food source for the 155 resident and migratory birds at Rottnest. Now, my favourite bird, it's quite an incredible bird, this one, is called a stint. It flies 13,000 k's from Siberia. So I think everybody has an understanding of how cold the winters are in Siberia. So the birds head to Rottnest Island when it starts getting cold. And before they leave, they weigh about 42 grams. By the time they get to Rottnest, they weigh about 20 grams. So they lose more than half their body weight. When they get here over the summer, their goal is to build themselves up again, eating the brine shrimp, insect larvae, mosquitoes, get themselves up to around that 42 grams, and then guess what they do? They fly back again. Yep. They do fly in flocks of 300 to 400, so I guess to an extent there is safety in numbers, but gee, what an incredible bird. Built-in radar. Does make you wonder, where do they stop, where do they eat, how many do they lose on the way? It's just incredible. Folks, just around the corner here, the spectacular Geordie Bay, incredibly popular with boaties. This is where you'll wait nearly up to 20 years to get a mooring. Very popular accommodation as well. This accommodation, they're all 2-bed, 1 bar. The ones that you see directly in front of us are all being renovated at the moment. They all have their own individual balcony. Isn't that just beautiful? Now folks, about 5 weeks ago, would you believe there was a 3-metre tiger shark in here? How about that? A bloke had just suited up with his wetsuit, goggles, snorkel, flippers, jumps off the back of his boat, and there's a 3-metre tiger shark directly in front of him. He was very quickly back on his boat, I can tell you. And the people that were on their balconies here, some of them got some good footage, and he came in along the shore. That's all very disturbed now with this
thanks, David. Where would you like
people in there waist-deep water that all got out of the water pretty quickly. That was just amazing. And before all this accommodation was built, those rocks on the other side there, we'd come out here fishing from Thomson Bay. And all of these were built during the mid-1970s. So these should all be finished for next summer. If you look at accommodation at Geordie Bay, with those there, during the summertime they're about $3,400 for a week. So if you can squeeze in a couple of families, it's not too bad really. So Geordie Bay is it's a bit of a hub too, because you've got adjoining, you've got Faze Bay and also Longreach Bay, which has one of the longest beaches on the island also, and very popular with boaties. If you're staying on the island for a few days, folks, make sure you do come out to Geordie. This little coffee shop, restaurant, general store, also a good playground for the kids, and a few quokkas around the place too. Big wind turbine, folks, that was put in 2004, 20 years ago. It is due for replacement now, but as it stands, it does give us about 30% of our power. And that turbine, combined with the 8,000 solar panels currently at the airport, saves about 650,000 litres of diesel a year that would normally be used with those 8 big generators that operate out of the program site. Out to the right, folks, that little house that you see there was actually built for Robert Thomson. So Thomson Bay in the main settlement area was named after him. He was a very prominent gentleman during the days of the agriculture. He had about 100 acres allocated to him. Also ran sheep as well. And when that whole agriculture exercise failed, he thought, what can I do? I've got my wife and kids here living on the island. So he turned his efforts to salt mining. So the causeway that you can see out to the right, that was the one that we came down from Oliver Hill to go back into the main bus stop area. That was built by the Aboriginal labour. They did a fantastic job. What Robert Thomson would do, he would mine about a tonne of salt per week, and by horse and cart they would take it down to the boats that were bringing over supplies and taking back salt. And then it would be sold throughout Western Australia. At that point, it was the only salt mining business in WA, and by all accounts, for that reason, was very lucrative. To the left a little bit, there is a little structure on top of that hill. That's the Fleming Lookout. It's about a 5-minute walk from the main bus stop, so we're nearly at the end of our tour. We do have a little bit of time, definitely worth walking up there. It is a magnificent view. You see most of the salt lakes from that particular vantage point. And also, if we've got any golfers on board, if you look out to the left, it's one of the greens of our 9-hole golf course, very popular with companies that maybe bring customers over for the day. They can come over, play around at golf. If they're staying the night, they can go fishing the next day. So very good for relationship building. The greens do remain green 12 months of the year, because all the treated water on the island actually goes onto the greens, which is great. And with all the rubbish on the island, folks, none of it is left here. It's all compacted, put on the barge, taken back to the mainland for disposal. Garden Lake on the left there, and those big cotton palms down the bottom there, folks, behind those, they were actually planted by the original settlers, and behind those they attempted to grow fruit and vegetables very unsuccessfully. Up and personal with some quokkas, these trees on the left hand side here that I pointed out earlier. This time of the day there are generally quokkas accumulating. Or bakery, always guaranteed to be there. Oh, there we are. Folks, we're just about back to the main bus stop. On behalf of the Pinnacle Travel Group and Quad Coaches, folks, I do want to thank you for using our service today. You've been a beautiful crowd, very responsive, and I do appreciate that. And thank you very much, folks, and I do wish you well for the rest of the afternoon. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. At this time of the day, also they accumulate underneath these big Thomson Bay figs. You might see a few drunk quackers around the place, folks, if they stay here too long. Folks, if you do want something to eat, if you go straight ahead and turn left, that will take you into the main settlement area. We're just going to go very softly here. If people could keep an eye out on the left, that would be appreciated. This lady, can you encourage that one to move? Can you encourage that one to move? Thank you. Righto. Oh, very good job, young lady. Right.
No,
See,
no.
that's what they do. Let me know if it goes anywhere near the wheels, will you? How are we doing on the left, folks?
Good.
Everyone's going home by the look of it. There we go. Thanks again, folks.
Thank you.